impact coach. He has educated people from over 100 nationalities across 17 countries. He has the international bestseller book called Persuasion, and he is featured on channels like Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. He has diverse expertise, and he has mind mastery powers. He empowers audiences with unconventional mind hacks for powerful presentations and persuasion. He has high-profile collaborations with partners like Google, Mindvalley, PwC, and Etihad Airways. He has an NLP affiliation. He is trained with Dr. Richard Bandler, who is the co-creator of NLP, and served on his team of training assistants.
What if you could get the right person to say yes, to buy into your product, your presentation, your proposal, or your promotion? What would that do for your entrepreneurship journey? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to humor me for a moment. Take your right hand and place it in the air as high as you can. Okay. Now go a little bit higher. A little bit higher. A little bit higher. Okay, put your hands down. How many of you noticed that you and the people around you went higher when I asked you to go higher? How many of you noticed that? But what was my first instruction to you? Put your hand in the air as high as you can. By the way, thank you. He was the first person to answer. That was a good catch. I'm going to bribe you for this interaction, by the way, all right? Put your hand in the air as high as you can. Yet every single person went higher when I asked you to go higher. How many of you believe that there's another level in your life that perhaps you're not tapping into just yet? Yeah. How many of you would like to tap into more of your persuasive power so that you can get more people to say yes to you? Great. Turn to someone next to you and say yes. Excellent. How many of you would like to go further, faster than ever before by increasing your influence? And how many of you won't raise your hand no matter what question I ask you? Allah ysamahum. Which means God forgive them, by the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Muneer, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the art of invisible influence. Now, this is important because you are one conversation away from changing your life. You are one conversation away from getting funded in your business. You are one conversation away from getting the right partnership. You are one conversation away from closing the biggest deal of your life. You are one conversation away from getting someone to work in your business, and you are one conversation away from getting your husband to do the dishes finally. And the secret of that conversation, the glue that holds it all together, is your ability to persuade and influence. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 pillars to persuade people powerfully. Now, are you ready for the first secret? Turn to someone, look side to side, and whisper, "I'm ready." Okay. So before I tell you the first secret, back in 2018, on my birthday, I think it was my 18th birthday, Why the laughter? That wasn't the joke. Like one person was like, ha ha ha. Another person took out their calculator, like, how does that make it? I could be 23. I mean, 23-year-olds have white hair. I don't know what you're chatting about. Anyhow, I digress. So, on my birthday, my friend Tony, he grew up with me in Oman, he decides to take me out to karaoke. We go to a place over here called Lucky Voice, and he says, Muneer, it's your birthday. We're going to go for karaoke. I say, great. So we go into this place, we go into this room, and in this room, it's a cold room, AC is blowing, you see this massive screen. And on the screen, there are thousands of songs, and they give us a remote control, and they say, choose your song. Tony looks at me, and he says, Muneer, it's your birthday. You go first. I say, okay, Tony. Grab the remote, and I start going through. Now, there are thousands of songs, so I'm like going through, and I start seeing Tony's foot. He's tapping away. Everyone's like impatient, so I say, okay, I'm just going to pick the first song I know, and I pick Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. Does anyone know the song? Okay, great. So I pick Bon Jovi. Tony, he says, Muneer, that's my favorite song. I say, I got you, Tony. Let me do this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my birthday. It may not have been my 18th birthday, but it was my birthday. And in the words of 50 Cent, I was going to party like it was my birthday. So I grab the mic, and I say, put it on, and I go, okay. And I start going for it, and I'm, wow, living on a prayer. And I'm going for it. I'm going all in. Halfway through the song, Tony starts tapping me. He goes, Muneer, 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 Muneer. I said, what, Tony? He says, Muneer, who sings that song? I say, Bon Jovi. He snatches the mic from me and he says, Muneer, please, Allah khalik, let Bon Jovi sing it. Now, after 3 days of crying myself to sleep, thank you for laughing at my pain. Which year? It wasn't 2018. So after crying myself to sleep, I started to think about this, right? Because it was his favorite song, meaning I had the exact same words that he loved. I had the exact same music that he loved. And so what took the experience from one of his favorite experiences to a nightmare? Oh, wow. Just getting flashbacks. Wow, this is a painful audience. Yeah. My delivery, yes, exactly. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to catch you. I'm going to throw it to you. Can you give it to her, please? Thank you. My delivery. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So many businesses, so many companies, they train their salespeople, look at this script. And they go through a script. However, Albert Mehrabian, in the 70s, conducted a study, and he found that 7% of communication are the words that we say. What do you think the other two parts are in terms of communication? What else is important? Your tonality, exactly. Tonality is 38%. And body language, 55%. And yet everybody focuses on that 7%. Who here is a parent, out of curiosity? Who here is a parent? Okay. Who here has parents? Okay, good. Who here knows parents? Who here isn't going to raise their hand no matter what question I ask? Allah yasamahem. How many of you have heard that tone? That tone of surprise, that nice surprise. Muneer. Oh, happy face. And then how many of you have heard that tone of Muneer? That's not nice surprise. That's na'al surprise. Slipper surprise. Yeah. There was no child services in Oman growing up. And so it's the same word but totally different meanings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a little exercise. I want you to turn to someone next to you and say, "Oh, I have this product, you will love it." That's it. "Oh, I have this product, you will love it." Just turn to someone and say that. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to do the following. I want you to say, "Oh," and then I want you to look right, I want you to look left, and then lean in and go, "Oh, I have this product, you will love it." Okay? So look right, lean in and whisper, "I have this product, you will love it." You are the product, yes. Anyone notice a difference? Yeah. Because it's not what you say, it's... Let's do this all together, okay? It's not what you say, it's... Thank you very kindly. Okay, so that is the first pillar. The first pillar is your delivery. The second pillar of invincible influence. Now, any millennials in the house? Can I just ask, any millennials? Anyone? Anyone born after year 2000? Yeah, okay. So just very quickly, for all the millennials in the house, back in the 70s, we had these buildings, they were called libraries. Before you had phones to get information, people used to go to these buildings to get information. And the crazy thing is, you couldn't just walk into the building and press print. You actually had to take the book and you had to go to the photocopy machine to get that information. Now, can I ask, everyone that's in this line, could you all please do me a favor and stand up? Just everyone in front of me here, just this line here. Yes, thank you. Okay, great. Now, because everyone in the university was going to get photocopies, they had this long line of people every day that used to go and get photocopies. Okay, it's a long line. And Harvard University did a study. They did a study where they wanted to see how people were able to cut into the front of the line, which in Arabic, the word begins with W, is called wasta. Everyone wanted to go and get wasta. Okay? So, you can imagine this line over here like this. And so they got three groups of people. The first group, they used to go to the front of the line and they used to say, "Excuse me, I'm in a rush. Can I cut in the line because I'm in a rush?" 94% of those people were successful. Everyone remember that number? 94%. So if they went to the front and they gave a good excuse, 94% of the time they were successful. They got another group of people to go to the front of the line and they just said, "Excuse me, can I cut in the line?" No excuse whatsoever. Only 63% of the time they were successful. What was the first number? 94% was great excuse, and then no excuse was 63. Okay, they got a third group to go to the front of the line and say, "Excuse me, can I cut in the line because I have to make photocopies." يعني كل الناس, all these people here, what are they here to do? Everyone's in the line to make photocopies. So is that a bad excuse? Can we all agree? Terrible excuse, right? So, okay, wait. Hold your excuse. 94% was a great excuse. 63% was zero excuse. What do you think a bad excuse? What was the success rate of a bad excuse? No, come on, it's not going to be better than a good excuse. 24, 70, 50, 5%, 80, 0. You think it might be 0, right? 1%, and someone, where's the chocolate? Who said 98, by the way? Okay, you said, it was, so good excuse was 94%. A bad excuse was 93% successful. 93% successful. And that is because of the word because. Our mind, thank you very much, you can sit down. Yes, to the lady over here, thank you. That is because our mind loves justification. Our mind, we love, it loves to connect the dots. And our mind loves to connect the logic so that you can collect the results. Because, the word because, I'm a hypnotist. My friend Nasser is a hypnotist. The word because is one of the most hypnotic words that you can find because our minds love justification. For all those that are parents, what does your child ask you all the time? Why? Why? Because our mind loves justification. So, if the first part is your delivery, the second is understanding the logic of the mind. Watch this. I'm going to say something right now, and something is going to pop into your head. I'm going to say 3, 6, 9, 12. What popped into your head? 15. Some of you need a calculator. 15. If I say 2, 4, 6, I didn't tell you to connect the dots. I didn't tell you to come up with the next number. It just happened automatically. So when you understand that your mind can create patterns, you can connect the logic to collect the results. Connect the logic to collect the results. That's right. Okay, so our first part was your delivery. The second part, we said, was the psychology. Now the third part. So my first ever job, I used to do door-to-door sales in the UK. It's my first ever job. And I used to go, knock on doors, etc. And I became pretty good at doing sales and persuasion. And then one day, they bring me a new trainee. His name is Kevin. Kevin was eager to learn. He was hungry to learn. So I'm sitting with him and I say, you know what? Every day you have to learn from people that are doing really good. You have to increase your numbers. You have to do this. You have to do that. And he's always taking notes. And within 2 weeks of Kevin joining, he became the #1 salesperson in the country. Now, this is amazing. I'm very proud as a trainer, but I'm also like, how did you do that? So I go to him, I take my pen and paper, and I say, Kevin, I'm really proud of you. You did absolutely amazing. What did you do? And he said, he looks at me and he says, Muneer, I did exactly what you told me to do. And I said, and what is that again? And he said, but you told me. I say, okay, tell me. And I take a pen and paper. He's like, Muneer, I can't teach you. I'm like, I asking you to learn from people that have done well. I have to lead by example. Tell me. So he goes, okay, well, Muneer, you said, learn from, see what other people that are successful are doing. So he went and he spoke to every top performer. He said, you are the #1 in the country. How many people do you speak to? How many sales do you get? Okay. You're speaking to 80 people and you get 5 sales. How many people do you speak to? Oh, about 80 people. About 80 people. He said, okay, I want to beat these people. I have to speak to 120 people. So the top people in the company were speaking to 80 people and getting 5 sales. He spoke to 120 people and got 6 sales. Who's the better salesperson? Yeah, it depends. It's your results that count. It's not your skill level. And he said, he said to me, Muneer, more doors, more scores. And when you're starting out, what you lack in skill, you can make up for in effort. So more doors, more scores. And so the third pillar is strategy. You don't need to be the most skilled person. It helps, but even the most skilled person can be beaten by a complete newbie. Because invisible influence has three pillars: your strategy, the psychology, and your delivery. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you just to take a moment, turn to someone next to you, or just take a moment and think about it, and then turn to someone next to you and say, what would you do moving forward to increase your persuasion, or to work harder, or to move forward? What is one thing that you can do moving forward? Just turn to someone next to you and share that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, just by quick show of hands, how many of you learned something new today? Just discovered something new today? How many of you were reminded of something that you had heard before? How many of you heard me speak? How many of you won't raise your hand no matter what question I ask? Allah yasamahu. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Oh, before I go, can I ask one little favor? Can I take a selfie with everybody? Yes? I'd love to take a selfie with all of you. And happy Emirati.